On the morning of September 11, 2025, hours before any official statement, a paparazzi account posted unusually precise details. A celebrity had fallen from a high-rise in Beijing's Chaoyang district. The poster claimed to have arrived quickly, photographed a broken fifth-floor window, and confirmed with on-site staff that the victim was Menglong, dead on impact. This was not coincidence. It was advance knowledge. In the weeks that followed, fragments leaked from paparazzi-linked sources, attendee lists numbering around 17 names, partial clips suggesting assaults, audio hinting at chaos inside the apartment. Never the full, irrefutable footage, but more than enough to dismantle the official narrative of a solitary, accidental fall after drinking. Why leak at all? And why only in fragments? The gathering at Sunshine Upper East, a luxury residential complex frequented by elites, was widely described as a planned shaming party. Yu was allegedly invited under false pretenses, or possibly held against his will, to be humiliated and recorded as a warning to other artists who might resist the industry's unspoken rules. Paparazzi, often tipped off in advance for such grey zone surveillance, appear to have been positioned to document the spectacle, material intended for leverage, blackmail, or quiet circulation within the industry. According to multiple accounts, some of the alleged perpetrators had even posted coded, later deleted messages to paparazzi weeks earlier, relying on familiar habits of deniability and non-traceable communication. Death was not part of the script. The objective was submission, defamation, and compliance, not a corpse. At least, that was how the paparazzi understood it. But the event spiraled into something far more brutal. Accounts describe prolonged assault, screams, and Yu allegedly being restrained near the window for hours. Some rumors claim he had swallowed a USB drive containing evidence. Others suggest he may not have died immediately from the fall, but entered a coma and died later during surgery to retrieve it. Whether every detail is accurate or not, one fact remains uncontested. Yu did not simply fall, and the situation inside the building collapsed into prolonged chaos during the hour he was reportedly held outside before his fall. Police cordons went up. Neighbors gathered. Residents reported hearing impacts and cries. Phones came out. Security guards whispered about restricted floors, unusual activity, and missing CCTV footage. Audio and video fragments began to circulate. At that point, secrecy was no longer fully controllable. For paparazzi already on site or nearby, the shock was immediate and human. They understood the industry's coercive norms better than anyone. Silence for survival, complicity for access. Many had documented grey zone moments before. Humiliations, career destructions, quiet disappearances. But this crossed a threshold. Yu, widely remembered as a decent man from humble Xinjiang roots, resilient through years of blacklisting, someone who just wanted a normal life, was no longer a target of discipline. He was a body. Even for those accustomed to moral compromise, the brutality was too exposed to absorb. Subconscious sympathy surfaced. In one leaked clip, reportedly recorded during the assault, a voice mutters, "How ugly some humans can become." It was not a declaration of courage, but a rupture, a moment where emotional containment failed. The unintended killing changed the risk calculus completely. Cover-ups followed immediately, rapid conclusions, evidence removal, pressure on family, arrests for spreading rumors. Paparazzi, who may have been hired to film a controlled humiliation, now found themselves entangled with a fatal outcome. Full silence was no longer safe. Residents had seen too much. The story was already escaping beyond controllable circles. In a system where knowing too much can itself be lethal, echoing earlier suspicious deaths in the entertainment industry, carrying the secret alone became the most dangerous position possible. They chose selective disclosure. Attendee names began circulating: Xinqi, Kai Yijia, Ji Guangguang, Song Yiren, Chengqing Song, Fuzicha, Zhao Maiki, Fan Shiki, among others. Partial timelines appeared. Clips focused obsessively on the window, background noise betraying the presence of others. Enough to redirect scrutiny toward elites, but never the complete evidence that would make the leakers singular, irreplaceable targets. It was a cold calculation, but not an inhuman one. By pushing fragments into public space, Weibo threads before deletion, overseas forums, screenshot chains. They expanded the circle of knowledge to millions. The wider the audience, the higher the cost of silencing everyone. If the leakers were neutralized, the trail would already point outward. This was self-preservation wrapped in the thinnest veil of conscience. And it worked. What was intended as a private deterrent fractured into a public crisis. Fear did not consolidate. It spilled. Instead of reinforcing obedience, the incident triggered solidarity. Petitions exceeding 700,000 signatures, boycotts crippling the entertainment sector, and a sustained refusal to accept the official explanation. The paparazzi were not heroes. They withheld the most damning material and acted only when cornered by chaos, shock, and survival instinct. Their leaks were cautious, incomplete, and shaped by fear. Yet in choosing partial truth over total silence, they disrupted the mechanism itself. Menglong's death was meant to teach the industry one lesson: bend or be broken. It was designed as a private deterrent, contained, deniable, exemplary. Fear was supposed to circulate quietly, through rumors and career warnings, not erupt into public consciousness. But fear misfired. This is the system's structural vulnerability. Totalitarian terror must remain calibrated. It functions only so long as violence stays just invisible enough to deny and just restrained enough to silence. When brutality exceeds that threshold, when it becomes too prolonged, too collective, too impossible to unsee, it stops atomizing individuals and begins connecting them. At that point, leaks are no longer acts of courage or betrayal. They are inevitabilities. Once terror overshoots its purpose, information escapes control. Silence becomes more dangerous than speech, and the black box of gray zone power begins to open, not through a single revelation, but through fragments, lists, half-truths, and testimonies that refuse to disappear. Menglong was supposed to vanish into an official explanation. Instead, his death exposed the system's most guarded secret, that even the most tightly controlled machine depends on human thresholds, and when those thresholds are crossed, obedience does not deepen. It fractures, one reluctant fragment at a time.